welcome to the MindCut series.
Great to be here.
Today we're diving deep into the Inclustrad text. It's this really interesting conversation exploring that feeling of being stuck, and how to break free.
Yeah, and the sources you shared touch on a lot. Personal growth, navigating those big life transitions, finding purpose.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is basically to pull out the most actionable insights from all that. Hopefully provide some clarity, maybe a few aha moments for moving forward.
Sounds good. And what struck me right away was how the Inclustrad text flips the script on feeling stuck.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, usually we think it's about, not knowing the future path, right? But this suggests it's often rooted in the past.
The past?
Mm-hmm. Specifically, it talks about grieving a past version of yourself, holding on to something that's, outdated.
Okay, let's unpack that. So an outdated identity, or like a mindset.
Exactly. An identity, an idea, a mindset, a behavior, an attitude, as the text puts it. It's like you're trying to wear clothes that just don't fit anymore.
Huh. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
You feel constricted, not because you can't move, but because you're stuck in that old outfit.
Precisely. And the text gives examples, the parent whose kids have flown the nest, someone after a breakup, maybe a career shift.
Right, situations where the old role or routine just doesn't apply anymore.
But there's still that clinging to the old ways, the old expectations, that former idea of me.
So the practical step then is?
It's about opening and releasing your hands, consciously letting go.
Letting go of that old identity, or maybe just a limiting expectation.
Yeah. The text even asks directly, what expectation are you letting yourself be held back by that if you were to let go of, you could easily move forward? It's quite pointed.
It really makes you think. And this letting go, it creates space, doesn't it? For something new.
That's the idea, because often that urge to move forward, it comes before you have the destination figured out.
You just know this isn't working anymore.
Exactly. You recognize the current thing isn't serving you, and you need to be willing to release whatever's tethering you to it.
Okay. Now, the Inclustrad text also gets into something really practical. How do you actually make progress when you're stuck in a situation you really don't like?
Ah, yes. The launchpad concept.
Right. Transforming that feeling of being trapped into, a launch pad for whatever's next. How does that work?
It's about a mindset shift, really focusing on actively extracting skills and learning, even from unpleasant circumstances.
So not pretending it's great.
No, not at all.
Mm-hmm.
It mentions someone in a consulting job they didn't love who made a conscious choice. Okay, I'm here for now. What can I learn? What skills can I absolutely nail down while I'm here? Viewing it as a temporary, valuable learning phase.
I see. So accept the discomfort, but be proactive. Ask yourself, what can I take from this? What skills? What insights about how things work, or even about myself?
Precisely. It reframes it. It's still a challenging chapter, maybe? But it's a learning chapter, not just a prison sentence.
And this ties into that idea of sampling, right?
It does, beautifully. Sampling isn't just about skills and a bad job. It's broader. It's about collecting and connecting.
Collecting what?
Stories, experiences, skills, ideas from everything, like a chef tasting ingredients,
Building a palette.
Yeah. Each sample informs your understanding. It might connect later in ways you can't even predict now. It's less about finding the one thing right now.
And more about gathering diverse experiences.
Exactly. Accumulating that palette.
So even in a role that feels like a dead end, the advice is look for the samples, communication skills, problem solving, understanding group dynamics.
All valuable. Things you can carry forward.
It prompts a good question for anyone listening. Are you actively looking for those samples right now, even in this stuff that feels negative?
Because those challenging experiences, approached with that extraction mindset, can yield so much.
Okay, shifting gears slightly. The deep dive then makes this really neat distinction between passion and purpose.
Yes, this is crucial. Passion, the text says, is what gives you energy, what brings you joy. Simple enough.
But purpose.
Purpose arises when you use your passion in the service of others. That's the key difference.
In service of others. And it doesn't have to be like saving the world, does it?
Not at all. The example they use is so powerful, the hospital cleaners.
Ah, yes.
Tell us about that. Well, they reframed their role. They didn't just see themselves as cleaners, they saw themselves as healers and carers.
Wow.
They started thinking about how their work contributed to the patient's well-being. Creating a clean, dignified environment was part of the healing journey.
So the job description didn't change.
But their perspective did, their mindset. They found purpose in how they approached the tasks, seeing the connection to others' healing.
That's a fantastic example of job crafting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Finding meaning even within the constraints of your current role.
Absolutely. And the takeaway is really practical. First, identify your passions. What gives you energy? Even small things.
Yeah.
Then figure out small, tangible ways to use that energy to help someone else, to be of service.
Could be helping a colleague, sharing something you're good at.
Or just bringing a more positive energy to interactions. Purpose often builds from those small, intentional acts.
But what if you feel numb, like disconnected from any passions right now? The text addresses that too, right?
It does. It suggests sometimes that energy isn't a big flashing light. It's more of a quiet little whisper.
A whisper.
Yeah, like a subtle pull towards trying something, maybe something you used to enjoy. It might not feel like fiery passion, just curiosity.
And it links this to recognizing what it calls inherent successes.
Mm-hmm. Things you're already good at. Maybe things that come so naturally you don't even see them as skills.
Because they feel easy.
Exactly. You might undervalue them precisely because they're easy for you.
So if you're feeling lost, a practical step is to reflect. What have I consistently done well? What do people compliment me on, even if I brush it off?
Don't dismiss the easy stuff. That's often where your natural talents lie.
And if you still struggle to see it?
The text suggests asking people you trust, maybe 3 people, a colleague you respect, a family member, a good friend.
Ask them what?
Ask them, what do you think I do well? Or what have I done that stood out to you? Their outside view can be incredibly illuminating.
It can reveal strengths you're blind to in yourself.
Because often what you undervalue is what others deeply value. Their feedback gives you clues towards passion, maybe even purpose.
Okay, let's talk relationships. The Inklestrade text also offers insights there for a more fulfilling life. One point was about judging others.
Yes. Judging others by their intentions, not just their actions. This is a big one.
We tend to do the opposite, don't we? Judge ourselves by our good intentions, but others purely by what they did, especially if it seemed negative.
We do, and it causes so much unnecessary friction. The advice is to pause, make a real effort to understand the why behind someone's actions before jumping to conclusions.
Assume positive intent, or at least neutral intent.
Or just seek to understand. The text even suggests, if it's someone close, having the courage to ask directly.
Hey, when you did X, I felt Y. What was going on for you? Something like that.
Exactly. It might feel awkward, but approaching it with genuine curiosity, wanting to understand their intention, can actually strengthen the relationship, not break it.
That makes sense. Then there was gratitude, but approached in a slightly different way.
Yeah, not just listing things you're thankful for, although that's good too. This technique is, it's about imagining life without something you currently have.
Counterintuitive, maybe? How does that work?
By mentally removing something, even something small you take for granted, you often feel its value much more deeply. It creates a more visceral sense of appreciation when you get it back in your mind.
So it combats taking things for granted. Instead of, I'm grateful for my health, it's, wow, what would my life be like without my health?
Precisely. It really amplifies the gratitude.
And finally, the deep dive wrapped up with thoughts on love and connection, challenging that sort of transactional view.
The idea that you expect love or care back in the exact same way you give it.
Which rarely happens, right?
Very rarely. People express care based on their personality, their style, their experiences. It won't always match how you express it or how you expect to receive it.
So if you're fixated on one specific way love should look,
you can completely miss the love that's actually there. The helpful gesture, the person who's just consistently present, the quiet word of encouragement. It might look different, but it's still care.
So the advice is, pay attention. Notice the people who consistently show up for you in their way.
Yes. Acknowledge their way. Appreciate their presence. And maybe also be the one who offers support without expecting a specific tit-for-tat return.
Like that phrase from the text.
Planting trees under whose shade you do not plan to sit.
Beautiful. Offering kindness without needing immediate personal gain or a specific form of reciprocation.
It's about recognizing the diverse ways love and support manifest and being open to receiving them.
Okay. So as we wrap up this deep dive, lots to think about. Maybe for listeners, consider, is there a past version of yourself you're still holding on to?
And what's one small experiment, just one tiny step you could take this week to move towards something new, remembering that struggle is part of it?
Absolutely. And thinking about passions, even the small ones. How could you use one tiny bit of that energy to serve someone else, maybe just today or tomorrow.
And who are those consistent people in your life? Take a moment to really see how they show care in their own unique way.
And finally, that gratitude exercise. Pick one thing, just one thing you might take for granted, and really imagine life without it. Feel that appreciation.
Yeah. The Inklastrad text really is a powerful reminder that growth is, well, it's ongoing, isn't it? It needs that self-awareness, that willingness to try things, to shift perspective.
Hopefully this deep dive has sparked some clarity, maybe offered some practical steps for your own journey.
It's definitely just the start. Keep exploring these ideas. See how they land for you in your own life.